and welcome to the channel. My name is Anna Maria and this is the 14th episode in a series about the witch trials. And this one is about Finland. I will link the other episodes down below. I will remind everyone that the witch trials were brutal and some of the themes I will take up can be distressing, especially when it comes to the sentences and the punishments for the accused. So a warning for the episode. Finland is one of the few countries where a lot of men were accused as well as women, and out of the 277 executed for witchcraft, 133 of them were men. Some of the cases are also connected to Sweden, because during a big part of this period Finland was under Swedish law and also a part of Sweden. So it's going to be a lot of connections between the two countries during the episode. Sorcery was already a crime since 1350, but you could only get executed if you murdered someone using it. During the 1600s, the witch trials became more intense, and all witchcraft, sorcery, and any association with the devil ended up with severe punishments. This took place on the island of Åland between 1665 and 1668. Today Åland is an autonomous region of Finland, but back then Finland was a part of Sweden, so Åland was a part of that as well. This witch trial started with Nils Silander. He was a priest and became a governor of Åland. With his religious background and his education, the witch trials was a big subject, and he wanted to operate the witch trials according to what he learned at Dorpat University. He wanted witchcraft to get extinct. One way he tried to do this was to make people confess that the devil was involved. And one case that Nils tried to influence was the case of a man called Olof Hansson and a woman called Kristin Hansdotter, and they were accused of using sorcery to hurt cattle. Nils tried to make them confess that the devil was involved, but they denied it, and they got a fine. Nils still wrote in the papers though that the case had an indirect connection with the devil. In 1665, a woman called Karin Persdotter was accused of witchcraft. She was helping people to find lost things. One of her customers complained and Karin was taken in. She told the court that she had help from the devil since she was a child. She was ill a lot and the devil felt sorry for her, so he helped her to find lost things for people. The word devil was a trigger word for Nils Silander, and he started an interrogation. He asked Karin if she had ever been to Blåkulla, which is a place where it was believed that the devil held witch sabbats. She confessed that she had, but she tried to take it back when she realized that it impacted her court case negatively. She was sentenced to death. And she also had to give out names of other people she had seen in Blåkulla. She mentioned 13 names. And this started a 3-year-long witch hunt where people got arrested and tortured to give names of others and so on and so on. And Kastelholm became the place for these interrogations and torture. They were also looking if they had a devil's mark on them of some kind. In 1668 it was 6 people that had been accused of witchcraft, but the authorities started to feel uncomfortable with Nils Silander's methods and how he conducted the trials. Nils tried to show them books from Dorpat University and said that what he was doing was all according to his studies. What followed was different views from the court and from the church. And it also came out that some of their confessions had been false or even planted. What ended this trial, though, was that the court forbade torture and refused to use it in a case of a woman called Margeta in 1670. The church already said that she wasn't a witch, but Nils wasn't happy about this, and he even suggested that the judges were under the devil's influence and had the devil's sign on them. This was the last straw, and the witch trial stopped. After the 1670s, the witch trials started to die down, but some accusations were still out there. The last person that we know of that got executed in Finland was a man called Erkki Antinpoikki in 1689, but we don't know for sure. There were some trials after this, but they often ended in a prison sentence or with a fine. And that was all for this episode about the witch trials in Finland. In the next one I will talk about a specific case, the Pendle witches. If you like this episode, please like, comment and subscribe, and don't forget the notifications, and I will see you in the next one.